Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Kim.
And I'm Brandon.
Hello?
Hello?
Is that your phone?
Yes, this is my phone. Don't judge me.
Does it still work?
Of course it still works. They always say the old ones still work. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It
Okay,
is.
I have to take this call, but we'll be right back with From Brick to Hip, the History of Mobile Phones, Part 1.
It's necessary for hunting Pokemon, taking photos, or simply texting friends. Your cell phone helps you meet the challenges of modern life. But just how did mobile phones get to be so cool? 1973. In 1973, the first phone call from a cell phone was made by an engineer at Motorola. Martin Cooper used a phone that was shaped like a brick and weighed over a kilogram to call a fellow engineer. The phone could be used for 30 minutes per 10-hour charge.
Wait, did I hear you correctly? You said from brick to hip, the history of mobile phones, and it's part 1.
This is Part 1.
I don't put bricks on my hip.
No. The brick phone is how phones used to be called because they were big and square and heavy, and if you drop them, they're going to break the floor.
Oh yeah, so they look like those red rocks people use to make buildings out of. It looks like the brick rocks on a building. Oh wow, so these things are really big and heavy old phones.
Yes, but nowadays they're much lighter, they're much smaller, and they're kind of cool, so they're hip.
Yeah, okay. So you can take them around with you on your hip if you want to. You have a little thing to hold it onto your hip. And you can be mobile with your phone. It's mobile. So mobile, she said mobile in the title. That just means you can go around with it. For example, the mobile clinic can reach patients who are unable to visit a hospital. That's actually really convenient for sick people or disabled people.
Yeah.
The clinic can go to them. It's a mobile clinic. And these are mobile phones.
Right, so they're free. You can put one in your pocket, put one in your backpack, anywhere you want. Carry it around with you. If you remember, phones many years ago had a cord, a very long cable, and they have to plug them into the wall. So you're kind of stuck there. You can't really go anywhere. You're stuck with the phone. But since mobile phones came out, you can have a conversation anywhere you want.
Yeah, and nowadays, we mostly use the word mobile for phones. So instead of saying mobile phone or cell phone, you could even just call it your mobile. Hey, do you have your mobile? Yeah, I have my mobile. It's in my back pocket.
Yeah, could I get your mobile number?
Yeah,
Something
there
like
you go.
that.
Exactly.
Now let's find out how exactly this happened. As we see in the reading, it's necessary for hunting Pokemon, taking photos, or simply texting friends. Your cell phone helps you meet the challenges of modern life. But just how did mobile phones get to be so cool? That's a good question.
Yeah, what do you do with your cell phone?
I really like to text my friends and check email. I like to use Line.
I'm always talking with my friends and looking up new information on the internet. I like to use my phone for the internet mostly.
And a lot of people like to play games like Pokemon. It was very popular many years ago. Ooh, people were playing that everywhere.
I still play Pokemon.
Still play Pokemon?
I do. I actually use my phone for games, exactly. And I'd say that's probably why phones became cool. So, 1973. In 1973, the first phone call from a cell phone was made by an engineer at Motorola. Martin Cooper used a phone that was shaped like a brick and weighed over a kilogram to call a fellow engineer. The phone could be used for 30 minutes per 10-hour charge.
I thought my phone was bad.
That's pretty bad. Hold on, you only get 30 minutes, but you have to charge it for 10 hours.
I would tell him to buy a new phone, but that is the phone.
Yeah, that's the only phone they have. I'm glad that they've improved the technology since then.
Yeah, can you imagine? You want to talk on the phone, but you're spending most of the day charging it.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, let's learn some more about how phones improved after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 From Brick to Hip: The History of Mobile Phones。标题里面这个 brick 本来有砖头、砖块的意思，可是在这边呢是指像以前那种像砖头一样大的黑金刚手机。那我们这两天的课文就要简单介绍手机的发展史，看看手机如何从黑金刚发展到现在变得很潮的流行配件。好，首先我们就从1973年开始。那一年呢 ，Motorola 公司的一位工程师，他用一只外形像是砖头，而且重量超过1公斤的电话打给同事，这就是史上呢用手机拨打的第一通电话。那只手机啊，它每一次充电10个小时，可以用30分钟，所以你一天最多只能打1个小时的电话。我们来看一下单词 mobile， 它是形容词，形容活动的、可移动的，它也可以念作 mobile。那要表达行动电话，英文可以说 mobile phone， 或者是 mobile 就好了，你也可以说 cell phone。那这个段落有2个文法重点，我们来进入文法时间。大家好，我是文法界的女神 Fanny。我们来看今天文法重点。第一个重点是 get to 加上动词的不同意思。第一个呢，你可以用来表达渐渐开始怎么样，这是表达说开始产生某一种特定的态度、特定的感觉，或者是你逐渐了解某人或某事物，像是 once you get to know her, you'll like her。一旦你开始慢慢了解她，你就会喜欢上这个人的。好，第二个重点是你可以用 get to 加动词来表达说有机会能怎么样，得以怎么样。像你可以说 we got to meet the cast after the show。在表演结束之后呢，我们有机会得以见到全体的演员。再看下一个重点是被动语态的用法。被动语态的主词呢是动作的接收者。我们来看看怎么把主动句改成被动句。好，我们来看主动的句型是主词加动词加受词，就像我爱你，我就是主词，爱是动词，你是受词嘛。现在要改被动句，你是被我爱的，所以你就变主词咯。这时候被动句我们就会把原本的受词变主词，主词加上 be 动词加过去分词 PP， 然后 by 某人。好，那接下来呢，我们就来看看，如果呢这个动作的执行者是明确特定的，你就可以说 by 某人。可是如果不特定不重要，我们就可以省略掉咯。例如 Kyle broke the vase。Kyle 打破了花瓶，那你可以把它改成被动句 The vase was broken by Kyle。花瓶被 Kyle 打破了。好了，我们今天文法就先讲到这边，待会见喽，拜拜。
1983 to 1989. Motorola released the first truly mobile phone in 1983, and it cost $4,000. Naturally, it was a huge status symbol. Though it was portable, the phone was still quite heavy and awkward to use. 6 years later, Motorola released a smaller phone, which was a flip phone that was small enough to fit inside a pocket. 1992. Mass production led to the introduction of cheaper mobile phones to the consumer market. In 1992, the Nokia 1011 was released. The phone was reasonably priced and had a digital display.
And welcome back.
Mom, I told you not to call me. I'm really busy. I'm working. I gotta go. Well, welcome back. Yeah, we're talking about these old phones and these mobile phones and how they got started.
That's right, and we started actually in a long time ago in the 1970s, which I did not know that the first mobile phone started that long ago. That's almost 50 years ago.
Yeah, I thought it was much later than that.
Yeah,
but
same.
Let's see how they progressed. 1983 to 1989. Motorola released the first truly mobile phone in 1983, and it cost US $4,000.
$4,000 for a phone.
Wow. Naturally, it was a huge status symbol.
I can imagine that was a huge status symbol, which is just something you have that lets people know that you are rich and powerful.
Yeah.
So a phone that costs $4,000 or a really nice car or a really big house, these are all status symbols that let people know you have money.
Oh, yeah, and people love showing off with their expensive things.
Of course.
Not me. I'm not into that.
I'm not into that either, but some people really like the brands. They like to wear everything as a brand, or they got a bag that's a brand, and they really like these status symbols.
Yeah.
Well, this phone was released at this time. Now, release, we have two meanings here. The first can be to let something go. If you catch a fish and you let it go, you've released it. But this is when a product comes out for the first time. So my favorite band will release a new album later this year is our sentence. And Motorola released this phone at that time. So the new phone came out and people were able to buy it.
Yeah, and Elsa in Frozen, she let it go. She was releasing some feelings, some emotions. That's what that's all about.
That's right.
Yeah. Though it was portable, the phone was still quite heavy and awkward to use.
I can imagine. It was over a kilogram.
Yeah, you've got 1 kilogram status symbol you're going around with. That's kind of a heavy status symbol. You're going to get really strong after a while.
I know you have to hold up your hand like this to talk onto it.
Hang on, I need to get a big rock to put my elbow on to listen to you.
Now, we also see another word used here, which is portable, which is the same meaning as the one you used earlier, mobile. So if something is mobile or portable, you can just take it with you anywhere you go.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I want a 1 kilogram phone in my pocket.
No, and that's what makes it awkward, because where do you put it? You can't really put it in your pocket. You can't really put it in your purse even. And maybe your purse is too small for such a huge thing.
I know, what can you do? Well, 6 years later, Motorola released a smaller phone, which was a flip phone that was small enough to fit inside a pocket. Ah, thank you, Motorola.
There it is. That's what they needed to do. So now finally they can take it with them easily and not awkwardly.
Yes, and if it flips, actually, it can protect the phone because the screen isn't getting scratched. So if you flip it up, okay, you can use it. Flip it down, and you don't have any scratches, and it probably won't break. So that was pretty smart.
Yeah, and it's not so awkward. Awkward is when something is hard to use or hard to carry or just doesn't look like it's using it quite right. For example, your camera is really awkward to use. That would be maybe if there's a lot of buttons or it's too heavy or big or something like that. It'd be a bad camera to use.
Yeah, I would not want to use an awkward camera. Maybe take a picture of yourself and you don't know it.
Yeah,
so it's just the front of your face like,
Sometimes I am awkward. Maybe if I meet somebody new, I might say something not very smart.
Or you're very nervous. Sometimes I'm nervous when I meet new people, so you kind of look a little awkward.
It feels awkward.
Yeah, so in addition to meaning something that's hard to use, it also means something that's a little embarrassing or a little strange.
A little bit. But let's talk about some more about these phones and how they got better and better.
Okay, 1992, fairly recently. Mass production led to the introduction of cheaper mobile phones to the consumer market.
Ooh, that's great. To the consumer market, that means more people can buy it.
That's right.
All right, well that's great. If it's cheaper, more people want it and more people can have it. And especially if people are showing it off as a status symbol, everybody's going to want that thing. So in 1992, the Nokia 1011 was released. The phone was reasonably priced and had a digital display.
Oh wow, as early as 1992, things had a digital display, so it looks more like a computer than the normal buttons you think of on a house phone.
Exactly. It would have those kind of electronic numbers on it that you could see and they light up with a small light behind it.
It's not an iPhone, but we're getting there.
Getting close a little bit.
Now we're talking about the production of this next generation of phones. Production is the process of creating something for sale and use. You can think of the long production line where each little bit comes together, and in the end, you have a phone. For example, electric car production is expected to increase this year. So this year, we will have more electric cars. Production will increase or get bigger. That's good for the environment.
Well, maybe. Production often happens at factories, and factories have a lot of pollution generally.
True.
But they do make a lot of the things we use every day.
Yeah.
But if you want to use it, it needs to be reasonably priced. Do you remember I said that earlier?
Yeah.
So reasonably, that means you can think it's okay. It's within reason. Reasonably means it's fine to do or fine to have. I'm reasonably sure that I can finish my homework on time. That'd be a sentence you could use with reasonably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I can. I really think I can, so I'm reasonably sure.
Yeah, within
That's right.
reason.
Well, thank you for joining us in this part, and we've only made it up to 1992, so we still have quite some time to go. So join us in the next part to find out what's up with cell phones these days.
All right.
See you then.
好，我们来看看在1983年到1989年期间发生了什么事。Motorola 公司在1983年推出第一款真的行动电话，售价$4000哎，这在当时是很重大的地位象征。那虽然它是可吸式电话，可是又笨重又难用。那么6年之后 ，Motorola 公司才推出了一款比较小的掀盖手机，它体积小到可以放进口袋里面。我们来看两个单字 ，release 这个动词它表示推出、发行、发表的意思。那么 awkward 它是形容难使用的、棘手的，也可以玩形容是令人尴尬的、笨拙的。好，那它的副词 awkwardly 就表示说笨拙的、尴尬的，或是有难堪的那种意思。这个段落有一个补充单字叫 portable。Portable 它是表达可吸式的、轻便的。好，那么到了1992年量产呢，就让更多消费者可以买到比较便宜的手机喽。那这一年 Nokia 它发表了1011这个型号的手机，价格合理，而且还有数字显示器。好，我们来看单字 production 它表示生产、制造或是产量。我们可以用 mass production 大量生产来表达这个量产的意思。再来看 reasonably 它可以用来描述这个价钱啊，它是合理的，或是描述公道的、理智的。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
It's necessary for hunting Pokemon, taking photos, or simply texting friends. Your cell phone helps you meet the challenges of modern life. But just how did mobile phones get to be so cool? 1973. In 1973, the first phone call from a cell phone was made by an engineer at Motorola. Martin Cooper used a phone that was shaped like a brick and weighed over a kilogram to call a fellow engineer. The phone could be used for 30 minutes per 10-hour charge. 1983 to 1989. Motorola released the first truly mobile phone in 1983, and it cost $4,000. Naturally, it was a huge status symbol. Though it was portable, the phone was still quite heavy and awkward to use. 6 years later, Motorola released a smaller phone, which was a flip phone that was small enough to fit inside a pocket. 1992. Mass production led to the introduction of cheaper mobile phones to the consumer market. In 1992, the Nokia 1011 was released. The phone was reasonably priced and had a digital display.
Hi, I'm Zsolt.
And I'm Jen.
And we're here to play Word Drop, where we each have 3 words we haven't seen before, and we need to casually get them into conversation. We were just speaking about imagination. Imagination is something that I really enjoy doing.
Okay.
Yes, and we have to be careful with what we say because we need to play and work with each other, so therefore we are reasonably nice people with each other while we play.
You said your word?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I was quite reasonable about it.
Yes, of course we have to be nice, but you know, sometimes when two people are talking to each other and being nice to each other, things could be quite awkward. You know what I mean?
You don't say. Does that ever happen to you?
Yes, like right now.
Wow. And you know how to release, oh darn. I'm gonna double use this. If you feel awkward and you're tight and tense, a good way to release that tension is by laughing.
Right. I do that a lot. Yeah, when I'm doing video recordings or production work, I get really nervous and I do laugh a lot.
You snuck it in there without me even catching it. Well, that provides really good material that I'm sure a lot of people would like to watch and laugh about along with you. So good job. And these people we call our media consumers.
Media consumers. Right. So,
You look a little nervous.
I'm trying to figure things out right now. So speaking of media consumers, where do you shop most of the time? Because I
Got it. We're gonna run out of time, quick.
Wait. Let me think. What am I? Yeah, I was talking about shopping, and I wanted to know how you get around when you do your shopping. Do you take the train? Are you quite mobile in the sense that you walk there? You don't go there? You shop online?
That's a good question.
See you next time!